You've built real wealth. The income's there, the assets are there. I have consistent retained earnings inside my business year to year, but there's a question you can't shake. Is any of my wealth actually optimized? And would I even know it if it wasn't? Here's the uncomfortable part. The two types of people who are supposed to answer that question for you are both paid to give you the wrong answer. I'm Kyle Pierce, co-founder of Canadian Wealth Secrets. We educate Canadian business owners to develop a holistic financial plan that maps personal assets, corporate structures, cash flow, and retained earnings to ensure they hit financial independence on their timeline without leaving unnecessary cash on the table or giving more to the CRA than they have to. In one 45-minute call, we'll map out every asset, liability, and dollar of cash flow, both personally and corporately, that you own. And we find the lowest hanging fruit you're currently missing in a wealth plan, as well as big pieces you'll need to consider moving forward. By the end of your free strategy call, you'll know one of two things: that you're already financially optimized and set for financial freedom and didn't realize it, or exactly what it takes to get there, how fast, and what structures, mindsets, and tools you'll need on your way. Now, this isn't for everyone, and I mean that. If all of your wealth is in your primary home, in your RRSP, or your TFSA, and you're not an incorporated business owner or a high-income earner, this meeting may not be for you, and you should click away and focus on continuing to build your assets. But if you're an incorporated business owner with retained earnings piling up, if you've got passive income getting taxed into oblivion, if you've got assets scattered across lawyers, accountants, and financial advisors who don't return calls, then keep watching. Because your situation is too complex for the people you've been relying on, and their lack of experience with complex cases is costing you. Canadian Wealth Secrets is an education-first firm with a team of advisors licensed across wealth planning, all investment securities, and insurance, which means we're not the advisors who only make money selling you one product, and we're not the fee-based planner running you through a cookie-cutter financial planning template. We sit in the middle so that we can educate you on what actually makes sense for your complex situation so you can decide your next best step. We sit across from incorporated business owners with 6, 7, and 8-figure portfolios each and every week who'd been told everything was fine and routinely find 5 and 6 figures worth of unnecessary tax, dead capital, and missing protection in a single review. We do this work every single day. For example, we sat with a Toronto tech consultant who had $950,000 trapped in GICs, money he literally couldn't pull out of his corporation without losing 30 to 39% in additional tax. We helped them understand how we can restructure this so that he could fund his family's $150,000 a year lifestyle without triggering that tax and access up to 90% of his capital whenever an opportunity shows up. One client's situation flipped overnight. He went from contract income to his corporation to 2 full-time paychecks at a T4 level, and brutal new tax bracket was introduced. His accountant had him paying himself the exact opposite of what he should have for years, quietly costing him tens of thousands in lost retirement room. We caught it, rebuilt his approach so every future year generates the RRSP room he had been missing, and layered in a leverage strategy that turns his mortgage interest into a tax deduction. Small moves now, 6 figures of difference by retirement. We also met a couple living abroad with over $1 million sitting in savings accounts earning 1%, terrified to invest because they had watched people get wiped out by bad timing. Their bank's advisor was charging 1.5% to do nothing but ride the market. We showed them a managed portfolio with real downside protection, the kind of structure where when the market dropped 20% like in 2022, the portfolio only dropped 4%. For the first time, they had a way to grow their money without lying awake over the next market crash. In another case, we had a 61-year-old Kelowna IT consultant who came to us with $3 million in his corporation, staring down a near 50% passive income tax wall in retirement. We turn that tax trap into a structure that grows tax-free, stays liquid, and passes to his family completely tax-free. Now, if you found us, you've probably already heard the Canadian Wealth Secrets podcast. Hundreds of episodes, tens of thousands of Canadian business owners who tune in specifically because we say the stuff their bank and their current advisors won't or can't. So how do we diagnose the health of your current financial plan and give you the next steps and the assurance to move forward? Well, it comes down to something we like to call the holistic wealth review, and it has 3 parts. Most advisors look at one corner of your finances, the corner they're paid on. We map out the entire board in one view: corporate retained earnings, personal assets, every liability, cash flow in and out. Why does this matter? Because every dollar you can't see is a dollar that can't work for you. The leaks are almost never in the part someone's already watching. They're in the seams between your accountant and your advisors. Nobody owns the seams, but we do. A marketing consultant came to us after getting hammered with a surprise tax bill. He had a great accountant, but no one had ever shown him how to coordinate the money flowing out of his corporation and his wife's. In one call, we mapped a smarter split between the two of them, moving income into the lower taxed person's hands, repaying a shareholder loan the efficient way, and keeping more in the corporation where it was taxed the least. None of it cost $1. It was money he had been handing to the government for absolutely no reason, year after year. Next, we pressure test how accessible and how tax efficient your wealth actually is. Here's the thing wealthy people understand that everyone else doesn't. Being rich isn't about the number on a statement. It's about access. Can you move on a deal tomorrow? Can you pull liquidity without triggering a tax event? Most business owners are asset rich and access poor, and they're getting taxed twice on money that they can't even touch. We help you see how to rebuild that layer so your capital is both protected and deployable. An ER physician reached out exhausted. 2 professional corporations, a holding company generating nothing, and over $1.1 million essentially frozen because his advisor refused to do anything but sell him mutual funds. We mapped his entire structure in one screen, showed him how to move that capital into his holding company with 0 tax triggered, and gave him a path to finally put it to work the way he wanted. He'd spent years asking for this and being told no. It took us one call to show him that it was not only possible, but that it was actually quite simple. Hand you the thing no one's ever given you: a single map of where you actually stand and every gap between here and financial freedom. Whether it's an insurance exposure you didn't know you had, estate exposure, dead capital, or an optimization your current team didn't see, you'll leave knowing your blind spots are no longer blind. And here's what makes this different from every other free consultation you've had. There's never an obligation to do a single thing that we recommend. The review has value whether you work with us or not. Most people have never had anyone show them the entire board all at once because the way the industry is built, almost no one is actually allowed to. A recently retired educator came to us with a smattering of accounts all over the place and with one real wish: to pull it all into one plan and stop thinking about it. She needed a second set of eyes. So we ran a full gap analysis against her pensions, showing her exactly how little of her lifestyle actually had to come from her portfolio, and built her a consolidated, downside protected plan. She walked away with the one thing that she had been missing: the confidence that she and her family were going to be just fine. So where do you go from here? Well, you've really got 3 choices. Option 1 is do nothing. Stay where you are, but if you've watched this far, you already feel it. Every year you wait, the tax bill repeats, the capital sits idle, and the gap between where you are and where you could be quietly widens. Doing nothing isn't neutral, it's a price, and you pay it every single year. Now, option number 2, you could try to assemble it yourself. A better accountant, a new investment advisor, a fee-only financial planner, an estate lawyer, and hope they all talk to each other. Well, unfortunately, they probably won't. That's 4 people guarding 4 corners and nobody watching the seams. That's the exact situation you're already in. And then there's option number 3. You book 1 call with us and have someone finally look at the whole board, licensed to actually act on what we find based on your specific scenario. So here's exactly what happens on that first call. Together in 45 minutes, we're going to build your full picture map, corporate and personal, all in one view. We pinpoint your single highest leverage opportunity, the lowest hanging fruit that you've been missing right now. We pressure test your liquidity and your tax efficiency, and you walk away with a clear read on whether you're already financially optimized or if you need to build a concrete path to help you get there. To get this full review properly anywhere else, you'd be coordinating an accountant, a fee-based planner, an estate lawyer, a tax lawyer, and maybe even an insurance specialist. Thousands of dollars, months of calendar tag, and still nobody owning the full picture. You get it in one call at no cost because for the right fit, this call is how we both find out if there's a reason to keep talking. And remember, there's 0 risk in finding out. There's no cost, no obligation, and no pressure to act on anything that we teach you or anything that we show you. If we look at your situation and everything's already dialed in, genuinely optimized, nothing left on the table, I'll tell you that to your face, and you'll have lost nothing but 45 minutes and gained total peace of mind. That almost never happens, but if it does, at least you'll finally know. So here's your next step. Click the button below and book your holistic wealth review call. One ask, because we can only take on a limited number of complex cases, the booking page has a few quick questions. Answer them honestly. If you're the right fit, an incorporated business owner or a high net worth or high income individual with real complexity to untangle, you'll see my calendar and you can grab a time on that spot. If you're not quite there yet, you'll join our community and keep learning with us until you are. Stop wondering if you're leaving money on the table or if you're on the right path to financial freedom. In 45 minutes, you'll know. Book that call now.